Last week, Stanford pulled the upset at Syracuse, and Clemson annihilated NC State far more than the final score and even the box score would indicate. This week, we've got Stanford traveling to Clemson. How's it going to play out? Let's talk about it. Teddy Covers from WagerTalk.com with a big game breakdown. College football Saturday night in Clemson. Right now, look at the Wager Talk live odds screen. Tigers home favorites 21.5/22. You can shop around and get the best of the number there if you so choose. It is a split line right now, which means if you like the dog, you look for a plus 22. If you like the favorite, you find a minus 21.5. Doesn't happen all the time, but you're talking about turning two pushes into wins and two losses into pushes over 100 bets. You'd be amazed at what a difference that's going to make to your bottom line long term, especially if you're betting with volume. But the bottom line, we do have a split line right now. As I record this on Wednesday, total is the interesting thing here, at least in this bettor's opinion, for Stanford Clemson. 57.5/58, despite the fact that we're likely to see weather in Clemson. We've got a huge hurricane coming into town. That said, I just looked at the forecast before I came on, and that's supposed to come through mostly on Friday. So by kickoff on Saturday night, in theory, the worst of the rain and the wind is supposed to be gone. That being said, it's going to be a soggy field. It could be a soggy field, and it's likely to affect the prep, certainly for Stanford, because Stanford's supposed to come into town on Thursday. They're flying in, and they're staying on Pacific time for what it's worth. After playing Syracuse and then flying home and then flying back, they're viewing it as a 4 p.m. Pacific time start as opposed to a 7 a.m. local time start. But they're supposed to fly in Thursday. They're supposed to practice at a local high school on Friday. That ain't going to happen now. So we may see Stanford a little bit out of sync. In addition, we've seen for the Cardinal a little bit of offensive line upheaval. And it's been positive. They've replaced both starting tackles. There's a freshman, and I forget if it's a redshirt freshman or a sophomore now. They're starting at tackles as opposed to the upperclassmen who were there. That'll work against Syracuse. We like that against Syracuse. But against Clemson's defensive front, I've got my concerns. I really do. I'm not convinced that Stanford defensively is going to have the capability of hanging with Kate Klubiak and his elite level receivers. And to be perfectly honest, look, Stanford played a good game last week. And I went into my handicap in this game trying to make a case for Stanford. I really did. I think this team's a little bit undervalued. They're not as bad as people thought they were. And once they finish the handicap, and here's Clemson rolling. And Clemson's got Florida State next week. I get it. Florida State beat them last year. So there is a potential look ahead. But right now, this Clemson team is a one-way team. A team with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, a team with an extraordinary amount of talent, and a team with a defense that could give Stanford a whole lot of problem on a wet field. So, yeah, the lean here is definitely towards Clemson. It's also towards the under. I'm surprised this total hasn't been bet down, given the weather conditions that we're talking about. That being said, it has been bet down, and the sharpest books are on the over here. You know, the 58s are at sharp books, not square books. So that, for me, is something to tap the brakes on. From a side standpoint here, Clemson or pass, a pretty clear choice for this bettor. Listen, guys, I appreciate all of the likes, all of the comments, all the follows. So much, really, genuinely appreciate it. If you want to give us a comment, thank you. If you want to give us a like, thank you. And of course, if you want to join the 170,000 of you who have subscribed to the YouTube Wager Talk channel, now's a great time to do it. You can also take advantage of a great offer right now. And I always say, don't buy a pick, buy a package. And I mean that sincerely. The next 4 months are as good as 4 months as you get in the sports betting world. If you're interested in a long-term package, you can buy 3 months, get the fourth month free. It works out to about $7 a day. And you get all the rest of the football, college and NFL, NBA, college hoops, baseball playoffs, etc., etc. Nothing more to buy, no bait and switch, no nonsense. You can check it out right now on my page, wt.buzz/TC, or at the website, wagertalk.com. Thanks for watching, enjoy the games, and best of luck with all your bets. Cheers.